Welcome to the deep dive. If you're curious about how your body's connected and you want to get the key info quickly without, feeling overwhelmed, you're in the right place.
Hmm.
Today we're diving into something really fascinating. It's the connection between your gut microbiome, autism spectrum disorder, your thyroid, and, well, your overall brain health.
Yeah, there are some really surprising links here and definitely some practical stuff you can take away.
We've looked at quite a bit of research, haven't we? Scientific reviews covering multiple studies.
We have looking at how these trillions of tiny organisms in your gut can influence things way beyond just digestion, like the brain, the thyroid. And we've also checked out some solid advice on, how to actually support your gut health.
Okay, so let's start right there. The gut, we know it digests food, obviously, but it sounds like it's doing a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. Think of it like a hidden organ almost. Your gut microbiome helps make vitamins. It fights off nasty infections. It even helps activate certain drugs you might take. It's a whole ecosystem working for you.
But our sources also mention something called dysbiosis, when things get out of balance.
Right, dysbiosis. And yeah,
Right.
that imbalance, it's not just a minor thing. It actually has the potential to cause disease.
And it seems like maybe our modern lifestyles aren't helping much.
That's a really key point.
Yeah.
Think about antibiotics. Essential sometimes, yes, but they can be like a bomb going off in your gut flora. Then add processed foods, maybe not enough fiber,
Yeah.
our super clean environments, living indoors more.
Yeah.
It all impacts those gut bugs.
Okay, so this imbalance can ripple outwards. And one huge connection is the gut-brain axis. You hear that term a lot.
The gut-brain axis. It's basically a constant two-way communication network. Your gut microbes are talking to your central nervous system.
How? Like, how does that work?
Well, through nerves, like the big one, the vagus nerve.
Mhm.
And interestingly, more signals seem to go from the gut to the brain than the other way around.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also through hormones and immune signals. It's a really close relationship.
So how are these tiny bacteria sending messages? What are they using?
They actually produce chemicals that our brain uses.
Hmm.
Neurotransmitters, things like serotonin. Most of your body's serotonin is actually made in the gut, believe it or not.
No way.
Yeah. And other things too, like amino acids, folate, and these really important compounds called short-chain fatty acids or SCFAs.
SCFAs, right. Those seem important for the brain.
They're very important. They're produced when your gut bacteria ferment fiber, the stuff in plants you can't digest. And these SCFAs, they can actually cross the blood-brain barrier.
Get right into the brain.
And once they're there, they seem to help reduce inflammation, protect your neurons, even help keep that blood-brain barrier strong. So what you eat is literally feeding your brain via your gut bugs.
That's incredible. So more fiber, better brain support through SCFAs. But what if you have that imbalance, that dysbiosis?
Well, that's where problems can start. Dysbiosis can lead to more inflammation in the gut lining. Sometimes people call it leaky gut.
Leaky gut, right?
It means the gut barrier isn't as tight, and stuff that shouldn't get out can leak into the bloodstream. Combine that with maybe altered neurotransmitter production from the unbalanced microbes.
And that could lead to things like anxiety, depression, maybe even brain fog.
Exactly. The research does connect dysbiosis with higher levels of inflammatory markers, cytokines, other metabolites, and these are linked to conditions like anxiety and depression. It really shows how gut health impacts mental health.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly because this gut-brain link seems really relevant in autism spectrum disorder, ASD.
Yes, there's a lot of research looking into this now. Growing evidence suggests that issues in that microbiota-gut-brain axis, especially an unbalanced gut microbiome, might play a role in both the neurological aspects and the gut issues often seen in ASD.
Gut issues are common in ASD, aren't they?
They are quite common, yes.
Yeah.
And some studies suggest the severity of GI symptoms can correlate with the severity of neurobehavioral symptoms.
And it goes back to that gut barrier idea, right?
Yeah.
Keeping toxins out.
Precisely. A healthy gut lining, supported by good bacteria, keeps things like bacterial toxins, LPS, lipopolysaccharide, is a big one contains.
right.
If that leaks out due to a damaged barrier, it causes inflammation throughout the body. And animal studies suggest this systemic inflammation can affect behavior and even damage the blood-brain barrier.
Wow. Did the research point to any specific types of bacteria being different in ASD?
Yeah, there are some patterns emerging, though it's complex and not identical for everyone. Often there's an increase in a group called proteobacteria.
Proteobacteria. Are those bad?
Well, that group includes some potential pathogens, and they're known producers of that inflammatory LPS we mentioned.
Okay.
And often there's a decrease in beneficial bacteria, like bifidobacterium and Blautia.
Bifidobacterium, what do they do that's good?
They're real workhorses. They ferment complex carbs, help keep the gut environment healthy, and, linking back to the brain, they can help convert tryptophan into serotonin.
Ah, serotonin again. Interesting. What about Clostridium? That came up too.
Clostridium is a bit more mixed. Some species are fine, normal gut residents, but others produce toxins or compounds like propionate, which some research hints might worsen some ASD symptoms.
Uh-huh.
And one compound they can make, ppresol, is sometimes looked at as a potential urinary marker for autism. There's even very early research looking at Clostridium tetani, tetanus bacterium, as a potential indicator, but that needs way more study.
It's pretty wild that studies have shown transferring gut microbes from humans with ASD to mice can actually cause behavioral changes in the mice.
It really underscores the power of the microbiome, doesn't it? And this influence doesn't stop at the brain. It extends to other systems too, like the thyroid gut axis.
Right, the thyroid. That little gland controls so much metabolism. How does the gut get involved there?
It seems a healthy gut microbiome benefits thyroid function, partly through its positive effects on the immune system. We often see autoimmune thyroid diseases, like Hashimoto's or Graves', appearing alongside gut issues like celiac disease.
Is there a reason for that overlap?
The main theory again points towards that leaky gut, the increased intestinal permeability. It might allow things to pass through that trigger, an immune response, potentially even causing the immune system to mistakenly attack the thyroid.
Makes sense. And not just autoimmune stuff, maybe thyroid cancer too?
There is some research suggesting a link, yeah. Finding altered gut bacteria, maybe more inflammation-promoting strains, in people with thyroid carcinoma.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the gut is crucial for absorbing the nutrients the thyroid absolutely needs.
Ah, like iodine, right.
Exactly. Iodine, iron, copper, they're needed to make thyroid hormones. And then selenium and zinc are needed to convert the hormone into its active form. Vitamin D is important for immune regulation too.
And if your gut isn't healthy, you might not absorb these properly.
Precisely. Deficiencies in these nutrients are common in autoimmune thyroid disease.
Yeah.
Iodine, for instance, is absorbed in the gut. So inflammation there, like an IBD, could mess with iodine absorption. Selenium is key for enzymes that protect the thyroid gland itself.
It really paints the gut as this like central command center for health. Okay, so the big question then, what can we actually do to help our gut microbiome?
Well, the good news is your gut microbes are very responsive. Changes can happen pretty quickly with diet and lifestyle shifts.
That's encouraging.
The absolute best foundation is a diet that's rich in fiber and nutrients. Lots of different plants, fruits, veggies, whole grains, legumes. Variety is key.
Feed the good bugs. What else? Fermented foods.
Yes, things like yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. The fermentation process creates beneficial compounds, antioxidant, antimicrobial effects, really good stuff.
I've heard having a dog might even be good for your microbiome.
It sounds funny, but yeah, there's evidence for it. Sharing microbes with pets seems to boost our own microbial diversity. Might even lower allergy and obesity risk.
Okay.
And kind of related, don't be afraid to get a little dirty.
Like gardening.
Exactly. Growing up on a farm, gardening, just getting your hands in the soil, that exposure to diverse microbes seems protective against chronic diseases.
Good to know. Anything we should maybe cut back on?
Artificial sweeteners are something to watch. Some studies suggest they can negatively alter the gut microbiome, maybe even affect how you handle glucose, and maybe ease up on the super harsh antibacterial cleaners everywhere. A little bit of microbial exposure is generally good for training our immune system and our microbiome.
Right, finding a balance.
Yeah.
So key takeaways for nurturing the gut.
Feed it well, lots of fiber and whole foods. Try to get good sleep, that matters too. Get outside in nature. Manage stress. And for some people, prebiotic or probiotic supplements might help, but it's best to chat with a healthcare provider about those.
Okay, so summing up, the gut microbiome is clearly a massive player. Affecting digestion, yes, but also brain function, maybe involved in things like autism, definitely connected to the thyroid. And while the science is always evolving, there are real practical things you can do, mainly through diet and lifestyle, to support this vital inner ecosystem.
Absolutely. And maybe here's something to leave you thinking about. As we understand more about this intricate communication, the gut-brain axis, the thyroid-gut axis, can we find even more targeted ways to boost our mental and physical health just by taking better care of these tiny microbes inside us? It really makes you think about how profoundly connected everything is, doesn't it?